Good morning and welcome to Vogrie Park on a nice morning. June's Trekker Walk on Wednesday the 25th of June. We'll be meeting here in the car park at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be going on a roughly 6.5 mile walk, a wee bit in the park and a wee bit over this side of the park into Dewarton and around. Remember, the car park is £3 to park when you're parking in here. So let's go and have a wee look at where we'll be going and what delightful things we will be able to see on the way. Vogrie House here was built in 1875 by James Dewar, the local landowner. It's been run by Midlothian Council in various forms since 1975. However, if you've watched the latest Netflix series Department Q, you'll actually see Vogrie House in the series. It was once the Royal Edinburgh Hospital for Nervous Disorders, and in Department Q it plays a similar sort of hospital, so it's sort of come full circle, if you like. So for the Vogrie part of this little trip, we're going to leave from the car park, we're going to come down by the house, head across through the woods, then along, and this is path head here, along here, down here, then we're going to head up this way, and then we're going to head across Dewarton way. If you want some extra walking paths here in Vogrie, then from the back path behind the house you can head into Path Head and the path network around the field there put in by Preston Hall Estate. It's a great little walk. That's a great little addition if you're having a walk round Vogrie and you want to do a bit more. So what should you bring on a trekker walk? This one's 6.5 miles-ish. Various terrain. There's muddy paths, there's grass, there's off-camber paths, there's tree roots, there's stones, there's tarmac. So a decent pair of walking shoes for the various paths we'll be going along. Some waterproofs. It might rain, and if it does rain then this route, parts of it can get quite muddy as well. So waterproofs, a drink to keep you hydrated, a wee snack in case you need it as we walk round, and wear layers so that if it gets hot you can take layers off, if it gets cold you can put layers on. Yes, we'll bring all that along on Wednesday, 25th of June, 10 AM at the car park, and join in this little trekker walk. Here's the boundary pond, so called because it's on the boundary of the park. Last time I was here on a Vogrie walk, this was frozen. You couldn't see into it. Not much movement in there just now. And we're coming up to the smaller park entrance here. I think this was for the workers, or the commoners even. Dewarton is a hamlet. Some of the cottages in there have been dated back to the 18th century, named obviously after the Dewar family who owned the Vogrie, and it was local workers and miners who stayed there in the cottages. It was renamed Dewartown, T-O-W-N, previously known as Dewarton, T-O-N, which was a bit pointless because ton in sort of Scottish dialect means town, so they could have just left it as Dewarton. I think we would have all understood what it meant. So we're heading up the path here from Dewarton through the field. Over that way you'd get to Edgehead. We're going to go up and then we're going to go across and come back down and head back into Vogrie via Newlandrigg. And this isn't the path to be wearing shorts on. Jaggies! Yeah, so if you're coming up this way and you're wearing shorts, make sure you get long socks on or wear trousers. Jaggy Central down there. We'll be scratching all night. So here we go. That way, Edgehead. We are going this way along this road. And actually, before we even do that, there you can see all the trees of Vogrie Park. Because everybody goes to Vogrie, you go in the park and they walk around the park, but not that many people come to this side. There are walking paths around. Obviously you've got the road to cross and traffic to look out for, but there are paths up and round this area if you're wanting a wee change. Of course, another thing to look out for, especially going through fields like that, is ticks, because I've seen about 3 deer this morning, and that grass is very long. So I've had a good check before I journeyed on. But yeah, when you're out this time of year, lots of deer around, look out for ticks, and especially if you're in Vogrie Park with your dogs, because they're rummaging about in the long grass, so check them for ticks when you get back. Now there are ups and downs on this trekker. Not steep, but steady. Again, from up here above the farm, you see all the trees of Vogrie. So we're just going to head through Camp Wood. If you just keep going on this road, just round there you get to Mayfield. It's a great view from here. Obviously you can't see it as well on the camera. Across the valley, Pathhead and beyond. And there you go, Mayfield, just down here. After Seat, there's the Forth. I don't know if you can see that big cruise ship just leaving. And just in amongst these trees here, just down a bit, there is an ancient prehistoric fort, protected by National Historic Environment Scotland. Most of it's fenced off. You see the high fences around here because there's a lot of deer. So you can't really get in, see a proper look at it, but it's there. Morning. It's almost like a little zoo when you come up here. Hello. How are you? Hey? You alright? There's the llamas. Hello, llamas. Hey. Hey. And there's the chicken runs. There's the noisy dogs. white doves. There you go, Roman camp holdings. If you want to find out more about little, I think it's a petting zoo, get them on Facebook. Now, walking is good for you. I think we all agree with that. And it's good to get out and walk in the fresh air. Whether it's snowing, raining, whatever. It's good to keep moving and keep mobile. What I do see more of happening is there's a lot of walking apps appearing. And obviously people take their step counts. But what can happen with that is, rather than being a relaxing thing that you're going out for a walk, it starts to become an inner competition with yourself and with your friends. Look how many steps I did today. Oh, I haven't done as many steps as I should have, or I've not done as many as I did yesterday. And like I said, instead of it being a relaxing going out for a walk, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of movement, a little bit of fresh air, you start to build up an anxiety about it because you're trying to compete with yourself or others. So what I see is, forget about the apps and the steps. I don't count my steps, even in the job I do. I don't have a walking app, I don't count my steps, I'm not interested. I go out for walks, I do walks, I enjoy the walks, I have a nice time out at the walks, I feel good after the walks. What more do you need? I don't need an app to tell me that. I don't need an app to tell me how many steps I did to make me feel any better. I just enjoy the moment, live in the moment. You know, I think nowadays we overanalyze absolutely everything, and things that are supposed to be pleasant and good fun end up being stressful. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't have step counters or use an app, that's up to you. This is just the way I do it. The old Vogrie golf course, now to be the scene of some wildflower meadows, hopefully building up over the next few years. And we're back at the car park. Now, where did I park? So join us Wednesday, 25th of June, 10 o'clock, Vogrie car park, £3 for your car in there, pay on the way out. 6.5 mile-ish trek, wee bit of Vogrie, then across Dewarton, Newlandrigg, back to Vogrie. It's a nice little walk. You may see lots of wildlife and lots of animals, as you've seen in the video. So keep your fingers crossed, it's a nice day, and there's some great views as well. We'll see you there.